Okie doke. Oh, Jesus, what is causing that? Please stop. Has it stopped? What is going on? Well, we're live on YouTube. We're going to be live on TikTok. I've got this alert box, which I think we will just remove, because if you don't have the alert box on, you can't be getting alerts, can you? So we'll do that, and let's see if people are going to come and chat to us. As is always the way, we've got almost the new version of, get my camera going there, almost a new version of Aussie Visa Mate coming out with updated, super updated stats on state sponsorship as all of the states, from want of a better word, states decide that they are going to release their figures and things going to update. I thought today that maybe being the first of the month, we might get some updates. There are some updates on the processing times. On the good news is that the spouses, I think the offshore spouse was the one. Prospective marriage came in a little bit to 12 months from 14, I think. And the offshore partner processing as well came in a little bit, 14 to 24 months. I think that was 16 to 27 or something like that. It's come in a couple of months. Really not a lot going on. If you're waiting for a 190, that's gone back out to 17 to 25. And I think the regional, oh no, that's 4 to 12 months. There was one of them, the 491. The 491, I think last month, it came into 4 months, but it was either something went wrong or they've updated it and it's back to 19 months. So I've sorted that out. Anyway, all the times that have updated on the department's website are now updated on the app, so you can download Aussie Visa Mate, get the latest version. It's got all the processing times up to date, and I think, when it comes to the data from general skills migration and state sponsorship, which is what we're talking about today, how about 189s? So what I did with the processing times for the 189s, it still says 8 to 8 months on the department's website, but I've updated it on the app to say 3 to 5 months, because that is what the processing time should be. The app is Aussie Visa Mate. It should be 3 to 5 months. That was what it was when they were processing them back in January to May of this year. The last round before the one we've just had was in November. Everyone applied in December and January, and they were going hell for leather processing all of those. There was about 500 or 600 that they didn't do, or they're still waiting to sort out. And that's the reason why the processing time says 8 months, because it's been 8 months since they got any fresh applications, and they processed more than 90% of them. So they're all in this sort of final 10%. But now we've got fresh bunch of almost 7,000, 6,897 or something coming through. And so the processing time will drop, because all the people who were getting processed in 190s and 491s are now not being processed and back onto the 189s. So Aussie Visa Mate is the app. You can download it from the App Store. It's only available for Apple. If more people bought it, then I could afford to do it for Android, but currently not. What about the subclass 100? Shobna, it's there. Subclass 100, 9 to 19 months is the current processing time. Pickle, is the PR points test changing next year? It could even change this year. I think it's The government's 10-year plan, which they released in 2023, said we're going to fix the point system. I'd fix it by getting rid of it. And then everyone was saying this time last year, oh, they're going to change the point system. Now, the Job Services Australia released a report last week saying when you change the point system, we think you should do this. It's not really a great report, but it does, because the data, it goes back to data from 2013, which is hardly relevant. Pre-COVID data is not really relevant to the Australian current situation at the moment. But they do make some recommendations based on the longevity that people are taking to get permanent residence in Australia now. So they're saying, you should concentrate on, give people points who've got more experience. And they say 8+ years. So what they're saying is if you're going to be a migrant and you're going to be here for 8 years, because that's the average time a tradie takes, then make sure you've got 8 years in your profession. Otherwise, you're not going to get the points to remain in Australia. So when will they change it? Well, I think what they're going to do is what they did last year and the year before, which is they're going to do all their allocation for general skills in November. For the rest, like a round of 10,000, probably not 15,000 in error like they did last year, but around 10,000, finish it off, and then they can change the point system, and you've got 6 months for people to apply and get used to it and all that kind of stuff. So that's the thing. Forklift operator jobs. If you are a forklift operator, you need to go to the Northern Territory. It's on a DARMA agreement. Forklift. There we go. Forklift driver. It's in Far North Queensland, which is Cairns. It's in Goulburn, which is Shepparton, in Victoria. It's in the Kimberley, northwest Western Australia, the whole of the Northern Territory, or Orana in New South Wales. Now, the reality is, to get a forklift driver's job, you're going to have to get probably a ticket. You're going to have to do a skills assessment. You're going to have 12 months experience at least, depending on what the DARMA agreement says. You need at least 3 years forklift driving experience, and it's got to be your job, not just part of your job. It's got to be, all you do is drive forklifts, or pretty much 80% of your job, and you need to do an English test. And to get all those tickets and stuff, you need to be in Australia. So you're not, some farmer's not going to talk to someone in, I don't know, the UAE, somewhere else, I don't know, anywhere, and say, oh God, we can't find forklift drivers, come to Australia and we'll sort you out. You're going to have to get to Australia. It's for people who've been, well, it's not really for people, but people who've been here on student visas, people who've been here on working holiday visas, they're doing that, they get the opportunity to stay. The people employing forklift drivers aren't going to look at people who are overseas. So if you're qualified, you could do your skills assessment, you can come here on a tourist visa and get your tickets and blah, 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 and then apply. But, that's the story. So people, we should be, whoa, hang on. This guy's, seen that guy, he's like a, anyway, that wasn't me. I'm not under arrest. God no. Oof. 186 direct entry, please, is it there? And is it updated weekly? No, well, the department updates it monthly, and the 186 they didn't update this month, but if you, it's updated whenever the department updates it, and I go live daily, so as soon as the department makes a change, if I don't know about it, then someone tells me, and then I update it, you see. But we have been, they've had this sort of routine of updating it in the last week of the month, and they did some of them on Monday or on Tuesday, but they didn't do all of them. So either they haven't changed or they haven't updated them. But anyway, when they do, I update them. If we look for the 186 direct entry, it still says 12 to 18 months, which is, it's okay, I suppose. It would be better if it was faster. Tatu, can you apply for another bridging visa? So you get a bridging visa is automatically granted to you if you apply for a visa on shore, right? So just ensure that you don't become unlawful if the next visa that you've applied for is not granted before your other one expires, right? Now, there's two situations you could find yourself in. The first situation, there's probably more than two, but the two main ones. First one is you want to travel overseas. So if you leave the country, a bridging visa expires. It ceases the moment that you leave. So what you need to do is you need to apply for a special visa called Bridging Visa B. Don't know what's so special about B. I don't know why they didn't call it Bridging Visa T for travel, but anyway, maybe it's for boats, I don't know. But Bridging Visa B, that allows you to travel. That one doesn't disappear when you leave the country. So that's when you can apply for a second bridging visa. And if you don't have work rights, because you've got a work restriction, says no work, or some other sort of condition that says you can't work on your bridging visa, then you can make another bridging visa application and request that you don't have work rights. You need to meet the test of what's it called? You've got a compelling need to work, right? And that might be that you've made an application for a work visa, a 482, or a Dharma visa, or some other a spouse visa. That might be your compelling reason. But in general, there's a test which is you're impoverished. You've got not enough money to survive until they make a decision. So, okay. Chintav told me yesterday that you said graduate has no future. Okay, well, do you want to have a look, right? Let's have a look, because I was just looking at the data, and I've just got the state data out, right? So if we look at early childhood, so if there's still 6,800 people who've applied, that's just for GSM, and the predicted cutoff and the last cutoff is 85 points. If you don't have 85 points, there's a lot of people in front of you. And if we look at the states, I've got this new data now. It's so cool. If we look at the states, state sponsorship, in total, there's 8,008 applicants. And now, if you're in, let's say, New South Wales, they made 86 offers and there's 2,745 applicants in New South Wales for state sponsorship. So you've got, I don't know, a 3% chance of being selected. And, you know, there's some states it's much better. If you're in the ACT, they made 23 offers and there's 142 applicants. There's not many ECT teachers in the ACT, but other places, South Australia is pretty much the same. 32 offers, 290 applicants. Victoria, 141 applicants, 3,576 applicants, right? Now, also in the States, if you look at the points, there's 36 people on 95 points. There's 524 people on 90 points. And then there's 1,398 people on 85 points, right? Now, we're not taking so many people, right? We're not taking so many people that all of these applicants are going to get jobs. Well, are going to get offers from the state governments or from the General Skills Migration Pool. If you don't have 85 points, you're wasting your time. You need work, right? So if your plan is to do a graduate diploma and then go and work in early childhood, and you can find a job and you can get sponsored by them, well, that's a good plan, right? But it's still a very competitive marketplace. I read somewhere there's I think I went to Seek and there's like 8,000 ECT jobs advertised, and I read somewhere there's about 20. We've got a future vacancy or shortfall of about 25,000. So there's no future in ECT in the General Skills Migration program unless you've got 85 points. If you don't have 85 points, we've got more and more people who are finishing that course. Johnny Kong at Riverwood Migration, he said there's like 6,000 people just employed at Southern Cross University. 6,000. I mean, that's outrageous, right? just at one university course. So it's going to be very competitive. You're going to have to go out to regional areas to get a job, and you need to find that job, get the experience. You're going to be working in that field for 4 or 5 years, maybe longer, before you get PR. So don't do it if you think it's like a shortcut to PR, because it's definitely not, right? G'day Trend following. Do you help with finding jobs? At the moment, I don't, but I'm looking at doing some stuff with truck driving and aged care and maybe community workers, maybe ECT even. So, but at the moment, I don't. But it's something I'm definitely investigating, because job services, well, I've known it for a while. I used to do recruitment, but in IT, you can't do it for every occupation. It's very, very, very hard. But you can pick selected occupations and do it. I'm going to dip my toes in and just see how it goes, see if people are interested or not. If the employers aren't interested, then I won't do it. So, because like I did this TikTok about truck drivers on Friday. 270,000 people have watched it. I'm inundated. I've got a link on my website. I've got about 300 people who've applied. If there's employers out there who need truck drivers, I've got a list a mile long. So, yeah. Mechanical engineering, 170, 190. Now, people, you should be downloading Aussie Visa, mate, right? So, but mechanical engineer. Okay, so let's have a look. We've got 8,290, 250, 8,200, I can't read, 8,250 total applicants, no offers last round, expected cutoff of 90. If we look at the states, New South Wales offered 64 people, and they've got 3,707 people seeking state sponsorship. The Northern Territory offered 31, and there was 950 applicants. In state sponsorship, there's 17,866 people. Now, some of these people are applying more than once, right? But some states, they will only allow you if you've applied for their state. So, but people who are offshore, they don't necessarily understand that. And sometimes people apply in different streams, like they're students and they're applying whatever, right? So, but there's still crap loads. And if you look at the points cutoff, 105 points, there's 24 people on 105 points, 173 people on 100 points, and 777 people on 95 points. So you need crap loads of points, okay? Otherwise, you're not going to get these offers. Even Victoria, with 128 offers, it sounds like a lot. They've got 3,700 people applied for Victorian state sponsorship just as a mechanical engineer. So it's what I've been saying for so long. You've got to get a job, right? That's what you need to do. User K, can you look at environmental engineering? Environmentally, want to know what state is best? Well, probably none of them. Environmental engineer. The cutoff was, hang on, I'll come back. For the 189, there's 404 applicants, no offers last round. We say you need 85 points. For states, no states offered them, and there's 23 in the Northern Territory and about 25 in Tasmania. There's 185 applicants in New South Wales. A total of 600 applicants, 95 points, 38 people, 79 points, 79 people with 90 points. So you've got 120 people who've got 90 plus points. No offers for state sponsorship. 491s, no offers either. Again, lots more people applying. So Jack Murphy, you're a mobile machine operator. What is the best sponsorship? So Jack, you'd have to be in the country. You'd have to get a job 482 as a machine operator. You need to be sponsored. Machine operator, not elsewhere classified. It's not on any list. It's only on DARMAs. So the Kimberley or the Northern Territory is where you need to head. Okay. Are you an international student? I assume that's hater. Hater. It's Stephanie. No, I don't dislike international students. I dislike the number of international students that we have, and I dislike the fact that people who have they're not here to study. They're here to work, and they're on all this perma-study type stuff where they do one course, they do another course, and they keep driving Ubers, right? We don't need these people. They've got no future in Australia, and we should get rid of them. So it's not that I particularly hate international students. I hate scammers, people who are taking advantage of the system, people who are making protection visa applications when they have no claims for protection, right? So it's like I use the chocolate analogy all the time. If you like chocolate, that's great. A little bit of chocolate once a week is pretty good. But if you had to eat chocolate 3 meals a day, every day for a week, well, you get pretty sick of chocolate and you can have too much of a good thing. So some international students are good for the economy. We're past that. We don't have any housing. We don't have any rental properties. And people keep claiming we're making $55 billion. These people are idiots. They don't understand the concept of profitability and revenue, right? Which are completely different. So that's where we stand. Follow the host. Following is free, of course. If you are one of the 24 people following me, watching me, you should be a follower. If you're not a follower, then following's free. So get onto it. And then now we're up to 29 people, just like that. Lav 342313. You can download Aussie Visa Mate, avm.dragonmigration.com. That'll take you straight to the App Store. 342313. Electronic Equipment's Trades Worker. My God. Okay. Well, it's not on any list, so you can only get work. You need to be sponsored on a DARMA agreement. It's in the DARMA agreements for the Northern Territory, which pretty much will take anyone, and Townsville. So if you go to Townsville and you get a job there, you are good to go. Can a UK citizen do a Form 88? Anyone can do ISTA. Anyone can do a Form 88. If they're Australian, they're supposed to show that they've got a Australian, I think, passport or birth certificate to show they're an Australian or whatever. But they're a statutory declaration. So if they're filled out by someone from overseas, they still need to go to someone who can witness a legal document, like a solicitor or maybe a police person or whatever, or take it to the Australian Embassy and get them to witness it. Asif Khan, I'm a truck driver in Saudi. Go to link in my bio. There is a form there you can fill in. Gives you all the information that you need about coming to Australia as a truck driver. It's completely free. I'll probably send you a follow-up, I don't know, newsletter or something like that once a month, but I'm not doing anything else exciting with that information. I've got a lot of people and I'm going to start ringing around, see if I can't find some of them jobs, but you'll need to be qualified. Michael has a Master of Cybersecurity with around 85 points and 1 year's experience, currently working as a support worker. With 3 years experience. Well, I don't. Get a job in cybersecurity. I don't think that there's. Cybersecurity is one of these funny things. They've got these cybersecurity analysts, architects, engineers, and then they also have ICT security. I don't know what the difference between ICT. Where is it? ICT security specialist. What's the difference between that and cybersecurity? I don't know. But anyway, I don't know what your, Michael, I don't, download the app, right? Look up what you've got a skills assessment for and figure out what your pathway is. 482 ART timeframe. So the ART, they haven't released any recent figures. End of May was the last time I saw them, unless they've done it in the last couple of weeks. And then it looked like it was taking about 21 months to 2 years to get through. It's probably longer than that. So, will the employer allow 186 visa offshore if you're on ART? Anusha, I don't understand what you're trying to ask, right? What's the employer got to do with it? So I don't know. If you're in the ART, you might want to book an appointment and discuss your case. Santosh is a chef. Chefs are just crazy. Look, you need a job as a chef. You either need a job or you need 1 million points, right? Chefs, 3,400 applicants, no offers, right? Because we want builders. The states, total of 4,900 chefs across all the different states. 23 have got 105 points, 157 have got 100 points, and 482 have got 95 points. So if you don't have crap loads of points, you're not going to get an offer. New South Wales has got 1,465 applicants. Victoria's got 1,124. Western Australia's got 1,147. It's even more in regional areas. Regional Western Australia is 1,566. So look, it's you need crap loads of points. If you don't have the points, you've got to get a job. A mechatronic engineer, Veritas. God, a mechatronic. What do you make those new AI dolls that are over in Japan at the moment? Is that what mechatronic people do? Mechatronic. So it doesn't even come up, or I can't spell it. Spelled it the same way you did. Mechanical motor. No, it's not listed. Can't find it. Sorry, can't help. Civil construction design. Estefani. Civil construction design. Civil engineering, construction trades worker. Estefani, there's no occupation with that name, so can't help you either. Okay, following the host is good. How about secondary teacher after studying a diploma? Well, they have to be a graduate diploma. Secondary teachers need to be degree qualified. And then maybe you've done a grad dip to get your teaching qualification. Is that what you've done, Mario? I'm not exactly sure. Secondary teachers are, that'd be interesting. Now we've got all this new state data. Secondary school teachers. So 85 points is what you needed. In the regional areas, there's large numbers of applicants. 200 or 300 in most of the states that are taking. They're only taking 20 to 40. So basically, you've got a 10% chance, I suppose. State migration, 50 out of 700. Everyone wants to, no one's applying in regional areas, right? Everyone wants to be in the capital cities, in South Australia, in Victoria, in Western Australia, obviously in New South Wales. Low numbers in the ACT, Northern Territory, and Tasmania. But they're not making offers, but there's low numbers, like 100 people, right? So if you are a secondary teacher and you're registered in the state, you can go to my job sponsors thing, and they've got all the jobs that are going, and there's a who's who of private schools in Australia. These job sponsors, these are already eligible 482 sponsors. They're already sponsoring people, so they're not going to turn around and go, "Oh, we don't sponsor people," right? They're already approved sponsors. So that's what you will need to check out. Chenghua. Where is it? Oh, look, Onlookers sent me a rose and a join the fan club. Fan club is apparently good for the channel. Gifts are fantastic. We've got one rose. We try and get 50 every 2-hour session just to keep the ratings going, really. Because I guess I started off getting 50% of these things, then they changed the system, it's 40%. Now it's like 37% or something. I mean, it's a bit of a joke, really. You're gifting me and TikTok keeps all of it. So, civil engineer. Well, there's lots of civil engineers, isn't there? I mean, and there's lots of demand for civil engineers. But if we look at the 189s, 9,300 civil engineers, predicted cutoff of 90. If we look at the state sponsorship, across all the states, 19,000 applicants. Now, as I said, they could be the same person who's applied in multiple states, but 19,000 is just still a crap load, right? And if you look at the number in New South Wales, there's almost 4,217 offers. In Western Australia, 450 offers, but 5,600 people applying. So, and you can look at the points cut off as well there. 28 people on 105 points, 153 people on 100 points, and 700 people are on 95 points. So you need points, right? If you don't have those points, and like to get 95 points, you've got to have some work experience. I'm sure, even if you're the ideal age and you've got superior English and you've studied here and there and everywhere, I'm pretty sure that you need that you're going to need 3 to 5 years work experience at least. So if you've got 12 months work experience, then get a job and get sponsored on a 482 visa. Abby, the enrolled nurse. Now we're checking this out on Aussie Visa, mate. And let's see. Enrolled nurses, we don't have any data on the one. It's not listed for 189s. But state sponsorship. So look at South Australia. People always say, should I go to South Australia? Should I go to Western Australia? The best place to be is actually Tasmania. They gave 69 offers and they've got 142 applicants. So 69 out of 142 is pretty good. Western Australia's got 65 out of 878. South Australia's got 51 out of 553. Victoria, who they don't have a list, but they've got 1,100 applicants, and they're not even one person. 1,100 applicants, by far the most. There's 3,000 enrolled nurses who are seeking, so it's not going to be easy for you. And if you look at the points cut off, 28 people on 95 points, 84 people on 90 points, 265 on 85 points, 470 on 80 points. You can see you need a lot of points. Is this data for the updated JSA job service? This is data from the expression of interest database run by, I think it's the education department that runs it. It gets released every month, and I suck it down and manipulate it and present it here. So Onlooker, join the fan club and a rose, still going good. We're up to 4 roses now. We're 10% of the way to 50. Loveson, I am an IT student in Darwin. What will be the next step? Well, IT is a very broad area, but essentially, look, you need to get a work visa. To get a work visa, you need to do a degree. If you're doing anything less than a degree in IT, then I think you're wasting your time, unless it's a stepping stone to starting a degree, like you're doing a diploma and then you plan on doing a degree. But once you've got your degree, you need to get a job. But to get a job, you need to have 12 months experience. So you got your graduate visa, your 485. Once you get your 485, you got to get 12 months experience. So do your 12 months and then you get sponsored on a 482 work visa. That's the way to go. if you download Aussie Visa Mate and you look at all the IT professionals, there's like 15 or 16 different ones. You'll see that in the last round there were no offers to IT professionals. It's all through work. Where the hell are the state allocations? Get Albo onto it ASAP. He's too busy, I don't know, doing something else. As is the minister, who's not doing anything either. He's busy promoting his other portfolio in film and television, getting pictures with Chris Hemsworth and stuff like that. He's probably calling up Nicole Kidman to say, "Oh, geez, I feel sorry for you," and all that kind of stuff, you know. What's the pathway for childcare? The pathway for childcare is to get work, right? So solo MLBB gaming, you need to get work. It's if you get work and they sponsor you, blah blah. If you want to find a job in childcare, just go to a regional centre, right? They're all desperate in there. If you think you're going to get a job at Bondi Beach Childcare Centre, you're crazy, right? So the app is called Aussie Visa Mate, and if you can't find it, some people can't find it in the App Store. I don't know how they're going to get permanent residence, so they can't find an app in the App Store. But I've set up a little link, AVM, Aussie Visa Mate, avm.dragonmigration.com. That's the migration business. It's just as a forwarder. You type that in, it takes you straight to the App Store, to the page where you can download the app. It's that simple. Scholar, we've done cybersecurity, so you've missed out. You'll have to download the app and check it out. Engineering professionals not elsewhere classified. And there's so many engineering professionals, or aeronautical, agricultural, aircraft maintenance, chemical, civil, blah blah. Oh my, so many. Not elsewhere classified. Hang on, civil. No, it's not there. Oh, it's just engineering. Engineering professionals not elsewhere classified. Okay. So that's the states. Let's go back to GSM. No offers last round. 90 is what we predict. Why do we predict that? Let's look at the states. The states say there's 2,140 people trying to get state sponsorship in that field. There's 25 people with 100 points and 129 people with 95 points. And there's 224 people with 90 points. So that's almost 500 people. No offers from anywhere except Victoria. They took 20, but they had 555 applicants. What about the regional area? No offers from anywhere, still 2,100 applicants. So people are trying, but getting a job. You need a job in that field. Sinead is a recruiter. Recruiters, I know a bit about recruiting. Recruiters need to be sponsored by their employer. So you need to find an employer who will sponsor you. Sinead Dooley, I'm assuming that you are Irish. There's plenty of Irish recruiters out there, plenty of English recruiters out there. I'm pretty sure if you're in IT at least, they've all got sponsorship agreements. You'll be fine. ECT in regional Victoria. We've covered ECT. You need 85 points or you need a job. It's that simple. Motor mechanics for Shan. Shan. Oop, I typed in Shan. Motor mechanic. Motor mechanic. Okay, let's have a look at this. There's 4, that's regional. Let's go to GSM first. So GSM, 3,200 applicants. It's a lot of motor mechanics looking to move to Australia. There were no offers in the last round, but we say you need 85 points. If we look at the states, so 53 mechanics have got 95 points and 101 have got 90 points and 313 have got 85 points. You need a shitload of points, right? Locations. New South Wales took 132, but they have 642 applications. Tasmania took 106 from 140 applications. Tasmania's looking pretty good. Western Australia took 37 with 1,400 applications. So you can pick your state and you might get lucky, but you're still going to need crap loads of points. So if you don't have those points, obviously you need to be working and get sponsored by someone. Paulo, we've done childcare workers. You'll need to download the app and figure it out. Jimmy, stop spamming the channel. Mute you. Okay. And Under the Sea, same story. The best thing to do, if you want an answer to your question, is to just ask it once. Okay, Bachelor of Computing Services. You don't get PR for having degrees, otherwise everyone would have one, right? You got to have an occupation. So whatever your occupation is, let me know. Food technologist, Rohan, you need to be sponsored. Dr. Anwar says hello. Hello to you as well. Painters from Mr. Gamri. I assume it's a Mr. House painters. Well, painter. Painters, under general skills migration, there were 660. We offered 130 of them approximately. 70 points was the cutoff. And there's people on 75 and 80 points. If we look at the states, state sponsorship, that 600 has gone up to 1,150 people for state sponsorship. 38 people on 85 points, 93 people on 80 points, 75 points, 235 people, 70 points, 429 people. So you might get lucky at 75 points, but Western Australia is the only one who took painters. And in the regions, Western Australia took more painters, but they're taking 40 when they've got 500 applicants. So it's still a very small opportunity. Bing bong is a chemical engineer. Chemical engineer. Do you know, in Thailand, crazy, say, oh yeah, that person's crazy. They call them ting tong. Ting tong is crazy. So a bit of Thai language for you. So if you're walking around, someone goes, oh, farang ting tong, means you're a crazy white guy. So chemical engineers, that's in the regions. Let's have a look. 189s is on the list. 1,600 applicants as chemical engineer. Predicted cutoff was 90 points, and the current cutoff is 90 points. So you need 90 points. State sponsorship. Oh my God, there's 38 people on 100 points. There's 169 people on 95 points, and there's 390 people on 90 points. I mean, it's crazy. South Australia and Victoria, the only two states actually accepting chemical engineers, and only for about 5% of the people who have applied in those states. Regional will not be much better. No options for regional. So chemical engineers, you need crap loads of points, or you need a job. Environment engineer, we've done. Driving jobs. So if you're any of the drivers, you need to be in Australia, you need to have an English test, and you need to have an Australian license. If you don't have those three things, then you're pushing shit uphill. If you're a truck driver, you can fill in the form on the link in my bio. It'll send you the information sheet and tells you what the steps are, etc., etc., etc. I got a yellow rose. Thank you very much from Estefani. Doctor, I have a Dubai license, truck and bus. Dr. Anwar, that's great. Fill in the form in my bio and you'll get the information sheet. It'll tell you what the steps that you need to take. Can you tell me, I've already looked, I can't find mechatronics Alexis, you will need to download the app and find it yourself. Jimmy, can you tell me about the total number of chefs waiting on EOI and their points? We've already done it, Jimmy. It's crap loads, right? There's 17,000 listed for state sponsorship. So, and at high points. So you can download the app and have a look. Chefs is tough. Could you tell about registered nurses with their points? We haven't done registered nurses. So let's do registered nurses. Registered nurses, not elsewhere classified. And so you needed 80 points was what was required on the states. Okay, so there's 7,429 state applications, 21 people on 95 points, 164 people on 90 points, 600 people on 85 points, and 1,700 people on 80 points. So if you don't have 80 points, you're going to struggle, right? A lot of nurses want to be in New South Wales. 2,500 applications. New South Wales made 110 offers. Western Australia took almost 200 out of 1,134. You got a better chance there. Victoria took 100 out of 2,000 applicants. You can see, right, that a lot of people, when they're applying for state sponsorship, they want to live in Melbourne and Sydney, right? So if you really want to get a visa and go this pathway, you really want to check out the lesser states, right? Like Tasmania took 50 out of 250 applicants, right? That's 20%, right? So the Northern Territory didn't take anyone, but they've only got 174 applicants. So you just need to be a little bit smart about what you're doing. But points-wise, you need crap loads of points. You're much better off. You've got to get your registration to be a nurse. If you've got your registration, get to Australia and find a job, right? That's the way to go. We've got another rose from Siam. Thank you very much. We're up to 5. We've got 10%. Come on, people. Get all those. Someone's got to have, I don't know, 5 cents that they don't need. Toss it this way. For hairdressing, hairdressers they're on the CSOL, right, which is the core skills occupation list. You need to be sponsored. You need to get a job offer, and you need to be employed. You can't work as a subcontractor or on ABN or anything like that. Tony's hearted me. Thank you very much. That helps support the channel. And liking and sharing also helps support the channel. I've got that one viewer up in there. That's probably someone. I'm in multi-streaming. So if someone's watching me on YouTube as well, if you're watching me on YouTube, that's great. You can comment and I'll get that comment as well. So that's good. So hairdressers need to be sponsored. You need to earn. So the problems are you've got to be directly employed. So you've got to be an employee, not an ABN. And you need to earn $76,515 as a minimum. Could I still get an HGV in Australia because I'm 56 but 33 years? Could I? You can get a work visa, but you can't get permanent residence. So you could come here and work, fall in love with an Australian and marry her. That'd be good. Or the other way around. But at 56, you're too old to get permanent residence, even like through the employment pathway. So your only option over 55 is to marry someone. Fitter, best state, share. The best state will be the state of employment. For a fitter, let's have a look. Fitter and Turner, Fitter General. GSM, there's 302, no offers. States, there you go. New South Wales is a pretty good state, as is South Australia. New South Wales did 74 offers and there are 75 applicants. Their points are 85 points, 23, 71 points, 80, and 75 points, 94 people. You need at least 75 points. And South Australia, the other one, 32 out of 108 offers. So they're looking pretty good. In the regions, New South Wales took another 36 and was the only one to do fitters, general fitters. So there's only one state chair, and that is New South Wales. Good luck. Emma's from the UK. Cabinet makers need work. Enrolled nurses, we've done. Cindy, my husband is a mechanic. Enrolled nurses, we've done. Civil engineering drafts person. You can download Aussie Visa Mate and check these all out for yourself. Civil engineering drafts person. Okay. Regional, we're going straight to regional. Check this out. There are 10,000 civil engineering draft people applying. 45 of them, only 45 out of 10,000, have got 95 points. 400 have got 90 points and 1,000 have got 85 points. If you don't have 85 points, you're screwed, right? Let's have a look at GSM. We predicted 80. The GSM cutoff was 90. They can't have taken that many. And for the states, New South Wales took 30, South Australia took 39, Victoria took 36, Western Australia took a massive 326 from 3,700 applicants. So you still only got a 10% chance. You need points, right? You need points. And the thing is with the states, you don't know, the points is less important because they only use it as a tiebreaker. You might need to qualify because you've got a job. You might need to qualify because you've been living there for 12 months or 6 months or 9 months or 2 years or whatever it might be. And then they go, okay, well, we take all the people who've, they've filtered out and then, then they might take people who've studied in that state as well. And then they take all the people they've filtered out and they're still only getting 10% of the people who are applying. So if you can get a job, that's the best thing to be doing. Gagan Shrestha. Shrestha. Oh, God. I really should know how to pronounce that. A diversional therapist. Oh, my God. Well, there's just no way, is there, really? I think didn't we look this up before? There's 26 applicants in Victoria, 30 applicants in South Australia for the regions. It's only on-state sponsorship for the states. 80 points. Well, there's no offers. You need to be employed, basically. There's no offers. It's on the CSOL. If you've got a job earning 76,515, you should apply. Ahmed, we've done environmental engineers, social workers, Sabi. Oh, I'm typing in Sabi. Social worker, social. That's the second time I've done that today. Social workers. Okay, social workers, that's for the states. It's on the list, no offers in the last round. So for the states, this is last year because obviously the states aren't open now, but 43 offers. There's 407 applicants in New South Wales. Points-wise, there's 59 people on 90 points and there's 209 people on 85 points and another almost 300 people on 80 points. You need a lot of points, right? We're not taking too many. I think you're going to need 85 points at that. So that's the, yeah. In terms of states making offers, New South Wales is the best, then Victoria and Western Australia, but they're still not taking massive numbers. Yeah, please stop spamming the channel because I can't, it just takes up my time. I can't get to people. I get to people as I can. So I've done painters and I've done environmental consultants. When will Skill Select update for next month? Well, the EOI data is supposed to be the first of the day, but it didn't today. But I sucked down last month's data and added all this state sponsorship stuff. But there'll be another update before the end of the week. And the current version of the app doesn't show it. I need to submit it to the App Store and get it updated. It only takes a day to do that. It'll be in by the end of the week. Yeah, download the app, Aussie Visa Mate, and keep up to date with everything that's going on. Usama, who's an occupational health and safety advisor, I looked at it earlier in the week, and they need to be employed If you're working as a cabinet maker, get a 482 visa. You won't get sponsored as a cabinet maker. I'm not doing enrolled nurses again. You can download the app and check it out for yourself. Plumbers, cursed. I'll type plumber in, not cursed. Plumbers general. Let's go here. Okay, plumber general. There's not many applicants for some reason. There's two different categories because sometimes they use a different categorization for the CSOL than they do for the 189s and 190s and stuff. So in terms of plumbers for state sponsorship, there's 130 applicants in total. Now, people offshore could be applying for multiple states and things like that. 20 people have got 75 points, 42 people have got 70 points, and 39 people have got 65 points. No offers for plumbers for any of the states or the regions. So basically, as a plumber, you need to come here, you need to get licensed, you need to work for someone else. All good. We've done chefs. Ishtar, I've told you that UK citizens can fill out a Form 888. AK, I was wrong. What can I say? They didn't. The states weren't listening to me. But in October, they'll definitely by the 30th of October, or definitely by Halloween. Otherwise, the minister's got to dress up as a vampire. Ishtar, anyone, someone on the moon, someone from Mars, anyone can fill out a Form 888. It's a statutory declaration. It needs to be witnessed in front of someone who can witness statutory declarations, like a lawyer or a police station, or take it to the Australian Embassy. If you've been living over, you can make an offshore visa application as a spouse. If you've been overseas and you don't have any Australian friends, or you're not in Australia, obviously everyone from overseas can fill in those forms. Gypsy, do I need to update my app? I'm trying to follow along. VIP, and it's not showing up what you're saying. There'll be I don't know which version you've got. The data has been updated, like the toolkit processing times. That's been updated, but the interface will be the next version, which it'll be by the end of the week. I finished the code today. I haven't submitted it yet. It could very well be tomorrow. But there's some other things I need to change. So that information will be there very soon. Yeah, thanks for downloading the app, and give me a 5-star rating on it in the App Store. It'll help too. Jack wants to know, is the 482 visa strong? The 482, mate, Jack, it's as strong as an ox, right? It's if you've got it, then 2 years you get PR. All you need, your name's Jack, so I'm assuming you're English or Irish, and you've got a passport that you don't even do an English test for. So you just got to survive 2 years on a 482, then you get your PR under the employee nomination scheme. Doesn't matter if your occupation's taken off the list. They'd have to close down the whole program. They're never going to do that. So it's about the only program that works in the migration system. So they definitely won't be closing it down. I'm quite confident about that. So you're good as gold, champ. Just don't get a criminal record, and don't become unhealthy. Name from Uganda as a truck driver. How can I join? You need to fill in the form in the link in my bio and get the information sheet and follow the instructions there. Kirst, my partner is a plumber and heating engineer. I've done plumbers for you, Kirst. Can I check construction managers? I can do. Construction be interesting actually to see, because quite big demand. Construction project managers. Okay, so there's 1,900, almost 2,000 people applying. We took 360, and last round in August, 5 weeks ago, 90 points was the cutoff. If we look at the states, that 7,000 applicants. So you got a lot of people who are making multiple applications. Points wise, 54 of them got 95 points. 300 have got 90 points. 550 got 85 points. 500 have got 85 points. 1,500 have got 80 points. So New South Wales took 300 out of 1,255 applicants. Queensland only took 41. They got 1,100. They're trying to build an Olympic Games. I don't know what Queensland's going to do. Well, they've only got 600 spots. I'm dying to know how many they're going to have next year. And then Western Australia only took 73 out of 1,300. So, and then if we look at the regional areas, so New South Wales took 150 out of 1,100, and Queensland took 25 out of 1,050. So, not much work in construction project management in the regions, but in the capital cities, obviously lot is going on. Jerry, marketing specialists need jobs. You need a job as a marketing specialist. Sydney, thank you. Records manager, is there any states? I don't think so. I think as a record, it's on the list for the CSOL. Records manager, no offers in the regions, no offers in the states. Thousands of applicants. 33 applicants. Hang on, I better go do and check it again. And the regions, there's only 33 applicants, but there's no offers. So you'd need to. Is it on the CSOL? It's not on the CSOL. So there, you're in trouble as a records manager. There's nothing you can do unless a state offers. But make sure you're in one of the states that's offering. So you've got to be in. Victoria's listed, but they don't have a state list. So the Northern Territory, South Australia, or Tasmania are your only hope, Obi-Wan. Sokche, I just did construction project managers. Guave me, how long does it take for a Kiwi to get PR? Kiwis don't need to now. There's a pathway straight to citizenship. So I'm not exactly sure what the deal is there now for Kiwis. Because for people who aren't aware, Kiwis have got what they call a special category visa, the 444, and they've got an equivalent partner visa, 461, the New Zealand family visa, to bring non-Kiwi or Australian partners into Australia. Of course, if you're Australian, you'd have a passport. You wouldn't need to be, but anyway, you're excluded for that 461. And then you can work here and all that. You're not supposed to have that visa if you've got any kind of criminal record, but a lot of people do. And they just sort of wave you through at the airport. But apart from that, you used to have to get sponsored through your employer, or it was the most common way. And then I think there was skills assessments, exemptions, and things like that. But now you don't need to be PR. You just probably need to be in Australia for a certain period of time, and you can get citizenship. But yeah, that's the drum. I don't know how long it takes. Ishtar, I can't be any clearer. It can be signed by anyone, and it's got to be witnessed by someone who can witness a legal document. So find out who that is. Take it to the Australian Embassy, get them to sign it. Okay. PK. Simulation can't access those features. Don't know, PK. If you can't access them because you're not a VIP member, so subscribe to the app and you will be. The app's name is Aussie Visa Mate, avm.dragonmigration.com. No worries to Jack, who's thrilled he's going to get PR. Wouldn't you be? Following, of course, is free. If you are not a follower, you should be. We've been chatting for an hour now, my God. Driver jobs, Prince Adam. We need some royalty in the truck driving community. The easiest way to do it, Mr. Prince, is to head up to my profile, and in my bio, there's a link tree. Go into that. Top of the thing says truck driver information. Enter in your email, sends you a 2-page PDF that says these are all the steps and this is the process and blah, 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 blah. Mendelstein, a carpenter. Carpenters. Dum-ba-dum. The Carpenters. One of my favourite bands, the Carpenters. 1,535 applicants. Oh, that's for state sponsorship. General skills. Okay. 65 points was the cutoff last round, and we've got a couple of people on 85, 80, 75 and 70, but not that many. From the state point of view, there's 22 people on 90 points, 63 people on 85 points, and 174 on 80 points. That's a lot of people. New South Wales only took 20 out of 267 applicants. Queensland took 38 with 136 applicants. They're trying to build an Olympic Games. They probably need carpenters. South Australia took 35 out of 214 applicants. Victoria took 53 from 363 applicants, and Western Australia took 110 from 581. So, carpenters, if you've got points, it's good. If you don't have points, you need to get to Australia, find work, and go about it that way. So, if you're here and watching, following's free. If you need to book an appointment with me to discuss your case, you can do that by going to the link in my bio, or you can see on the screen there, meeting.dragonmigration.com, and we can chat about the difficulties you've got and how we can get around them if we can. There's almost always a way, even though you might not like it, but there's things that you can do. Jerry, marketing specialists need to be employed. I don't need to look it up. You need to be sponsored. There's so few places in general skills migration. They're going to teachers, construction workers, IT professionals, health professionals, and I always forget the fifth one, engineers. There you go. So if you're not in any of those fields, if you're sort of in a HR type job, a marketing type job, you can get sponsored. You're on the CSOL, but you're not going to get an independent application. Gone are the days of that to occur. Family A, is there an option for PR for entrepreneurs? There is, but I think now it's called the National Innovation Visa. I don't do them. Look, if you're a person with millions of dollars, you tend not to listen to people on TikTok. You tend to go to an accounting firm like PricewaterhouseCoopers and say, "Oh, how can I get to Australia?" And they go, "Oh, actually, we've got a migration team who does this." And they'll develop business plans for you for like $10,000, and they'll do everything, and they'll pay their migration team like peanuts, and you know how those big consulting firms work. The partners make millions, and everyone else is really lowly paid. Mendelstein, that is the link, yes, for Aussie Visa, mate. Download it and get all the information. I'd take this chance. If you download it, you do get the processing times, which we keep up to date. I should go and do an IELTS test. And I teach English, my God. We keep the toolkit up to date with the processing times. There's a points test, which you will need if you're going to use the new state sponsorship wizard. And this is the part that I haven't updated yet. The state sponsorship wizard just says if you're eligible or not. But now you enter in what points you've got, and it'll say whether it's worth applying for state sponsorship or not. So, and that's going to be updated in the next day or two. So yeah, by the end of the week, this later version with all the really good state sponsorship stuff will be out and available to all the people who are watching it. And there's also these 3 video tutorials. We're not doing spouse visas today. No one's asked, or one person did. But spouse visa priority processing, if you want priority processing for your spouse application, that 5 or 6 minute video will tell you how to do it. Parent visas, if you got some kids on the way and you want the parents out here for the next 5 to 10 years, the 870 parent visa is the only parent visa worth applying for. If you apply for a contributing parent visa, you might get it granted by the time your kids turn 21. The processing time is currently 14 years and growing. No good. And tourist visas, if you've got a loved one overseas and you want them to come and visit, don't make the mistakes that everyone else makes and apply for a 3-month visa and all this kind of stuff. Watch my tourist visa processing video and it'll tell you how to maximize your chances if you are trying to get people to come and visit you, particularly loved ones, partners who are offshore on 309 visas and things like that. You can give that a go. So anyway, that's the stuff in the toolkit, which comes with the app. And then if you pay for the subscription, you get all of the cool stuff, which is chatting with me. If you want to have an appointment, you get 50% off the appointment. So if you want to book an appointment, you can do it through the app from the toolkit, or you can be a sponsor and you get 50% off. So the smart people sign up for a month and get the 50% off because that's cheaper, right? And then we've got the 189 visas, the 190 visas, the 491 with all the stats will tell you whether or not it's worth applying or not. If it's not worth applying, we've got the skills in demand stuff, which gives you salary surveys on how much experience you should expect and gives you the Australian salary surveys, which we update. And we've got DAMA agreements. If you're not on any of the lists, there's still hope. The Northern Territory, South Australia or Western Australia probably have a job for you. Northern Territory will take you if you're a coffee maker, a barista, and there's truck drivers are in demand. A lot of driving jobs, actually, coach, forklift drivers. Very hard to get from offshore, but can still be, I'd say impossible to get up from offshore. That's all there. I did this AI risk thing as well, which I thought was just very interesting. You can enter in your occupation and it'll tell you the chance that you're going to be replaced by AI in the next 12 months. And it can give you some career advice on the kind of things you should learn in order to make yourself a valuable employee in the coming times, so that you can't be knocked out by AI. So you can check all that out. And there's chat with me, so you can drop a chat. That's another thing that's broken at the moment, but it'll be fixed by the end. It'll probably be fixed today. Well, it's broken on this. You now no longer need to log in with your email. It just automatically logs in. But the problem with that is every device has a separate user ID. So now I only get my chats on my phone. I don't get them on my iPad. So I think my girlfriend's happy. It means I can't use my iPad in bed anymore. Anyway, okay. What about secondary school teachers on 90 points in New South Wales? Let's look at secondary school teachers. So download Aussie Visa, mate. Support the channel and keep up to date with what's going on. Secondary school teachers needed 85 points. And so if you've got 90 points, well, that's the state. They offered 50 points from 697. So on 90 points, there's 66 applicants. Gabar, you're one of them. And then on 85 points, there's 300 applicants. So hopefully when New South Wales opens, you're looking good because they're not open at the moment. The other thing is, don't forget, they took 50 people the whole of last year. So over 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 months, depending on how many rounds they did. 491 for chefs. We've done chefs. You need 85 points to be a chef, or you need a job. If you don't have a job, you're screwed. Bit sick. They only need carpenters temporarily. Yes. Okay. Bitsick has sent me a fan, heart me, and I don't know what that one is. The future of welders. We need more welders. Lots of welders. Mining and road construction. There's plenty of demand for metal fabrication. Plenty of demand for welders. Harland, cafes probably don't need chefs, I would have suspected. It depends. If it's an upmarket cafe, chefs are really about cooking food on demand rather than preparing food, you know, like cafe style where it gets like muffins and shit like that. Probably not. Future of Welders we've done. Bitsec joined us. Thank you, Bitsec. Welders. Did we look at welders? Community worker. We're up to community workers. Please don't spam the channel. Community workers. Community workers have not been offered. For the states, there are 2,448 applicants. There's 100 of them on 90 points and 200 of them on 85 points. And 400 of them, you need points. New South Wales took 29 out of 761 applicants. Western Australia's your best chance, 181 out of 1,027 applicants. But you still need points. You need points. Survival kit. You'll need to, I can't just talk about 491 transitions. You got to February. Book an appointment. I'll run it through with you. I'll process it for you, right? So, social worker offshore, any advice? We did social workers. What did it say? Social workers. Well, do you have 90 or 209 or 85 points? No. Well, there might be around in November. Well, they'll probably be around in November, and you might get social worker offers then. States to apply for: New South Wales, Victoria, or Western Australia, but very little chance. And New South Wales. So really, New South Wales is the only one that's made offers. Try and get work if you're overseas. Captain Z wants to know about licensing for trucks. And I think I told you yesterday. I don't know. You need to contact the state that you're moving to and find out what the system is. I don't know what a Class 5 is. Primary teacher ECT in South Australia. We've done ECTs. If you are an early childhood teacher, you need 85 points, or you need a job offer. So, finance manager. Okay, it's not available for permanent residents for the 189, but states and regions. ACT took 25 finance managers from 230 applicants, and South Australia took 51 from 311 applicants. Total applicants is 2,600, which means there's a lot, as you can imagine, finance managers. They want jobs in other states like Victoria. New South Wales not even listed. Western Australia, 817 applicants as well. You've got to be smart about where you're going to apply if you're a finance manager. Even in regional areas, obviously you need points. Like 87 people got 95 points, 250 people have got 90 points, 300 people have got 85 points. You need to be at the top end. Western Australia took 23 people out of 1,000. South Australia took 36 out of 300. ACT took another 21 out of 250. So it's tricky. Tylanium Fitness is a disability support worker. Disabled carer, or is there a different disability services officer or registered nurse? I don't know. I don't know which one you're going to fit under. We'll say disabled carer, no offers. No offers for the states. It's not, it's not a labour agreement. You need to be employed. You need to be employed. It's sponsored. Sponsored visas only on a labour agreement. Bajra, how is Western Australia for overseas registered with 75 points? Bajra, no idea because you didn't tell me what your occupation was. Download the app and look it up. For a registered nurse, okay, it's come along. Right, registered nurse, we'll say you're not elsewhere classified. You need 80 points, and Western Australia took 195 from 1,100 applicants. You're going to need 85 points. There's 600 people on 85 points. A lot of them are going to be in Western Australia. So, yeah, there's 164 on 90 points. You might need 90 points. How about someone sent me a red slimy thing. Skyless, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Still looking for roses. I manage truck drivers. How can I come in? You're a manager. Well, it sounds like you're in recruitment or something like that. I don't know. If you're a recruitment manager, you have to be sponsored by an employer. How about telecommunications? Your Healthy Minute. Well, there's a whole heap of telecommunications jobs. Download the app and figure out which one you are. What are the odds? We've got a gambling person. What are the odds of getting an invite for information in New South Wales? What are the odds? Only an information professional would ask, what are the odds? Well, you need 100 points. There's 4,400, almost 4,500 applicants. You need 100 points, and New South Wales has taken no one. That's in the state sponsorship, and in the regional, no one. So the odds in New South Wales are 0 because they're not taking people. Engineering technologist. Did we look at that before? Or it was food technologist. Engineering technologist. You can download this on Aussie Visa Mate. Okay. Oh, man. States. Is that the states? These are the states. Let's look at GSM first. It was on the list. There's 5,500 engineering technologists, and they didn't get an offer round in August. State-wise, there's 10,000 applicants. Some people are making multiple applications. 61 people have got 100 points. 350 people have got 95 points. You're gonna need 95 points. If you don't have 95 points, in New South Wales, they took 21 people out of 2,510, less than 1%. So, Casilla, you need a job. You need to be sponsored. Bajra's moving to Western Australia tomorrow. Didn't we just do registered nurses? I did it. So, look, if you've got a job, just get a job. Get a job and you'll be sponsored. That's what you need to do. Truck drivers, just register in my app and in my profile, there's a link, truck driver information. It'll send you the 2-page information sheet. It tells you everything you need to do, things that you can do now, etc., etc., etc. The name of the app is Aussie Visa Mate, and there's a link here. There it is there, avm.dragonmigration.com, Aussie Visa Mate, download it. How about environmental manager? My mate was an environmental manager. I'll have to give him a call, actually. Environmental manager, 203 people are listed. 90 was the cutoff score. For the states, The states, they all want to be green, but they don't want to hire environmental managers. There's plenty of applicants, about 400 applicants, but you need a job. If you don't get an offer, if you don't have, 95 points, if you don't have 95 points, then you need to be employed. None of the states are offering positions. AK, the data for the app, is it for the interim quota? No, all it says here, offers listed are from last year's 2024-25 migration program. So that's what the offers are, and the applicants is the ones who are currently in the database. So all the points cut-offs and stuff like that. Yeah. Monisha, what are the odds we've done you? I'm a heavy diesel engineer. Does that mean you're a mechanic, or does that mean, I don't know what it means. If I type in diesel motor mechanic, that's the only thing that comes up. Banker Bob, you'll need to have a look at the ANSCO qualifications. Gujara, how about accountants? Working in the field, skill level 2 for 491 visa. Oh, God. Well, you've only got 80 points. You don't have enough points, Gaja, so you need to be sponsored by your employer. Dr. Bubba, how can I get the app? The app is available from the App Store. And if you go to, there's the link there. Hang on. Where's my finger? No, on the other, this one here. There you go. There. avm.dragonmigration.com. You go there and it will, I'll do that again. Oh, I can be taught. avm.dragonmigration.com. That will take you to the App Store, to the page where my app is. You can download it. And this one here, that one, the meeting. If you want to have a one-on-one meeting with me via Zoom, enter that. And then you just need to email me. You can send me an email. So, yes, or you can just text me in. I'm getting inundated by truck drivers at the moment. I'm getting over 100 texts a day. So whatever you do, don't do something stupid and say hello, right? Because I just delete those. And don't say, just ask a question so I can respond to it, right? Because I only look at them twice a day. G'day, Doris, how are you? Good to see you. Okay. I don't know why I can't do that. Anyway. Where am I up to? Doris has said hello. Civil engineers we've done. Enrolled nurses we've done. Sonam WA question doesn't mean anything to me. Casilla I've done. Environmental managers we've done. Enrolled nurses we've done. Syed. You need to download the app. We've done carpenters. Jagger, you'll need to download the app. Sales managers for Kai M. You need to. I think New South Wales did take some sales managers. But I think basically you need to be employed. Sales and marketing manager. It's not, you can't get general skills, but state migration. Oh no, South Australia took 53 of 300 applicants, and Western Australia took 36 of 230 applicants. There's 1,500 sales and marketing managers looking to come here. They needed 90 points. Was 108 people, 85 points, 126 people, 80 points, 225. If you don't have 80 points, I don't think you've got a chance. I think you probably need 90 points. If you're lucky, 85. So that's it for sales and marketing managers. We've done civil engineering draftsman at Oman. Dr. Bubba just downloaded the app. Good on you. Thank you for supporting the channel. There'll be a new update by the end of the week too, with all this state stuff on it that's not there at the moment. Cybersecurity, Jimmy, we did earlier, and there's 5 or 6 different occupations for cybersecurity. You need to download the app and look up what yours is. Boilermaker welders, we did. There's lots of jobs for welders. Welder first class, and you need New South Wales and South Australia are the states that are doing state sponsorship, and there was around, you needed 90 points. So you need a lot of points. If you don't have the points, then if you're in Australia, then you can work. You can figure it out. Woo Wolf, can I get... No, truck drivers they're only available on the Dharma agreements, and the Dharma agreements themselves. You feel free to have a look at them because I haven't looked at all of them. But the ones I have looked at say to get you can't get direct entry. You need to have been working in the field for like 3 years on the Dharma agreement before you're eligible for employer nomination. But you'd have to look at all of them to find out. So you need to be sponsored. You can't self-sponsor. So and you'll definitely need a skills assessment. So ICT support engineers need jobs. Annie is a content creator. Now there's definitely a content creator in there. Where is it? There it is. But it's only for the marketing component. So you've got to be a content creator marketer. You can't be like me, making content, busy every day, right? You need to be marketing the content. So if you are, then no offers, but it's on the CSOL, isn't it? Yes, it's on the CSOL. So you can be employed by someone like me, and if they need a full-time content creator marketer, or maybe work for an advertising firm. Sunrise, follow the host, of course. Following's free. Everyone can follow. Aged care workers we haven't done, and I'm sick of listening to aged care workers tell me they can't find jobs, and I'm going to start contacting. I'm going to try and do some employment, basically, some recruitment for aged care workers, because it's my experience that there's a massive shortage. My mother was at an aged care home, and I lived in Byron for 6 years, and all the places there couldn't find staff. They were paying crap loads of money for contractors. So yeah, definitely can be done. Aged care workers, age or disability care. So it's not on any lists. So you need to be sponsored as an aged care worker. There's a labour agreement, an industry labour agreement that any business can join. Any aged care business can join. So once you've got that, you can get sponsored. So, and if you got my app and you go to the job sponsorship, there's a whole heap of sponsors who come up, and the ones that are green are the ones who are currently looking. So look, there's plenty of them. Many of those are religious-based organisations. Bapt Care comes up, the Church of England comes up, the Catholic Western Australia Catholic Church comes up, blah 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 blah. So there's lots of opportunities for aged care workers, but not so much in the cities. You've got to probably go out to a regional area where there's less competition. I'm doing my chemistry, and so I looked up chemist, if that's what you're going to be, a chemist. I don't know. If you're going to be a chemistry teacher, STEM teacher, then that's an option for you. And Jager, the app is Aussie Visa Mate. Here it is, right here. I've got to use this hand. I'm looking at it the wrong way. There, avm.dragonmigration.com. You can download it. Globetrotter, send me a heart, me and 3 Bs. By the look at it, very good. And Jager, the app is Aussie Visa Mate. Here it is, right here. I've got to use this hand. I'm looking at it the wrong way. There, avm.dragonmigration.com. You can download it. Globetrotter, send me a heart, me and 3 Bs, by look at it, very good. The app's only on the iPhone. That's correct. Yep. So back to our chemist. What are your PR options? So I don't look. Having a qualification doesn't mean anything, right? You need to have an occupation, and you need an occupation which allows you to either get sponsored or apply independently. So if your occupation is secondary school teacher, you can be sponsored and you can apply independently. If your occupation is chemist, I had a look at it the other day. Chemists need to be sponsored, right? So by an employer, so you need to get a job. So those are your basic, or while you're here studying, fall in love with an Australian and marry them, and then that's your other option. Woo Wolf has got 3 years experience in WA, but I can't remember what they do. But anyway, that's got to be good news. Christy Lee, 482 skills shortage visa, yes. Can you work under or apply for an ABN? Well, when you're on a 482, you're going to only work for your sponsor. So you can't work for anyone else, and you can't self-sponsor by being on an ABN because one of the requirements is you've got an employment contract, and you can't employ yourself. You need two parties to a contract. So if you do contract law 101, one of the things that everyone always forgets is you need two parties to a contract. So you can't work for anyone else. You can't work under an ABN. I think the only exception is doctors who can work independently to other hospitals and things like that. But apart from that, if you're a tradie, for instance, hairdresser or carpenter or whatever, painter, you have to be employed. So someone's paying your superannuation, and the government can come around and monitor them and make sure that they're doing everything they said they do. Annie says, don't worry, I work for a company in Sydney. Content creator. Good. Well, you're in, Annie. You're good. So how does it work for the skill being on the CSOL? Can we apply to states currently employed in Sydney? So if you're working for a company, that company needs to sponsor you. You need to earn more than $76,515 and meet the English requirement. There's a whole swag of things that they need to do. But basically, you need to be sponsored by your employer. If you've got a job and they'll sponsor you and you earn more than $76,515 or $40 an hour, then you're good to go. Your Dark Shadow. Is there any option for registered nurse of Fiji to work as an aged care in Victoria? You need to find out, right? You're after career advice, not migration advice, right? So the first thing you need to figure out is whether or not you're eligible to be an aged care worker. You might be. You'll need to do a skills assessment. They're not going to employ you as an aged care worker from overseas. You're going to have to get into Australia. So maybe you should check that one out first. Danny Bates. I've been driving trucks for 4 years and turning 40. What are my chances? Well, you've got the English requirement. You've got 3 years work experience. So register. The process is you need a skills assessment and you need a license. You can't get the license until you get to Australia. It takes 1 to 3 weeks. You basically need to go to a licensing RTO, registered training organisation, and they'll do Australian road rules. You'll have to go to a doctor and get a health check. They'll do maybe a CPR type course or something like that. So basic first aid. And then they'll lend you a truck so that you can go and do the driving test with the department and then get your license. So that's basically the process. But then once you've got the skills assessment, you'll have the English because you've got a passport and you've got the license. You still need to find a job who'll sponsor you on a Dharma agreement. And that's why I said to people, look at Perth or Darwin because the whole state is a Dharma location. So those are the places. But you're not going to be running like Amazon trucks around the CBD or anything like that. It'll be long haul stuff up and down or across the country. So that's the kind of work you'll be doing. You might get lucky, but that's the situation at the moment. Bookkeeping is not accounting, Gujara, so that's not going to cut it. Woolworth's got 3 years experience, but I don't know what in because I can't remember. Soccer shorts. I've done my Bachelor in Finance. Is it possible I can get a visa on Masters of Nursing? I do not know. I do not know. I don't do education visas. You have to talk to an education agent. Maybe if you were arguing that you wanted to be running a hospital, maybe you could. I don't know. So, why are we done? When will the states get their quotas? Wild boar, I'm with you. I'd like to know, but we don't know currently. So, yeah, I would have thought, like normally they have them, in July, and then everyone was saying August. Now it's ridiculous. Pretty soon it's going to be Christmas, and they're not going to have their shit together. It's crazy. Mind you, it's like for the 190s and for the 491s, it's a 2-year wait anyway, right? I did a video on this. We could just stop it for 2 years, and it wouldn't matter because it's not going to be any faster for anyone. I'm a secondary school teacher. That random stalker. You're a stalker and you're a secondary school teacher. You're in trouble, champ. You're in trouble. What are my chances for the Visa 189 with 80 points? Secondary school teachers. Let's have a look. Secondary school. Oops. If I could spell secondary school. Okay. So 85 points was the cutoff. So let's see what it says for state sponsorship. There's a lot of people. 66, 85. 85 points, there's 300 people. So I don't know, how many do we take? I think you're 5 points short, basically. There's 1,600 applicants. Maybe if they do a big round in November, they do 10,000, you might get an offer. But otherwise, if you don't get an offer, you're not going to get one for 12 months. You might not even be eligible, get sponsored by your employer. If you can, if you're in the private system. Sumanpreet, early childhood teachers we did earlier. You'll have to download the app to check that out. Jay Shan. You have 75 points, and I've got no idea what your occupation is. Or state, Vic State. I don't know. Hey, we got Clive, a truck driver, looking for a job. Well, we don't do recruitment, Clive, but you can register and get the information on how to get to Australia. So the link is in my bio. You can check it out there. Anesthetic technician, Kushpinder. Anesthetic technician. It's on the list. There you go. No offers. State sponsorship. No offers. Regional. There's 280 applicants. There's no offers. 47 people on 80 points. You would need. It's not good for PR. You can't apply independently. You need to be working and get sponsored by your employer, and then you're good for PR. If you've got a job, 2 years, and then you can get permanent residence. It's listed on the CSOL. So as long as you're sponsored, you're earning, more than $75,000 or $76,500. You're good. Ronald, truck driver, 8 years in Africa, 2 years in Europe. Ronald, find the link in my bio and supply your email address, and you will receive an information kit on how to be a truck driver in Australia. It tells you everything you need to know. that's the situation. Okay, I'm exhausted and also starving, so I'm going to call it a day. Okay, motor mechanics. Motor mechanics needed 85 points. Motor mechanic. In Victoria, they only took 22, which is not very many. And 85, you need 85 points. So so you might get there, but you need to meet all the Victorian requirements, which is you'd have to have a job. So 491, they didn't take many, 20 out of 1,000. State, they took 22 out of 1,000. Regional, they took 22 out of 1,100. So they're not taking very many. If you've got a job, then get sponsored. And then Ma Afridi, you need a job driving. Well, as I said, I'm not a recruiter. I do visas. So you can register in the link in my bio. Jess Murphy, would you choose work sponsorship or partner visa? So it's a very tough question. It happens to a lot of working holiday visa people. They get a job, but they're also hooked up with someone. You've got to ask yourself the question, which is the stronger relationship? Are you more likely to keep work? Do you really get along with your boss? Is the business going well? The economy's not great. And then your partner, is it a new relationship? Are you a faithful person? Are they a faithful person? Are you going to be together forever? You've got to last 2 years with one of them, and you've got to figure out which one's which. So, if your relationship's strong, if you've been going out before you came to Australia or something like that, then partner visa is probably a good option for you. But work is always quite good for if you're independent, you're not really sure about the relationship or its early days, etc., etc., etc. Coles, truck driver 3 years in Australia. What is the permanent residency pathway, please? So Coles, you need to get a DARMA agreement. So you're going to be in regional Australia, and then you get sponsored on that DARMA agreement, either on a 482 work visa or a 494 sponsored regional visa. And then after 3 years, in most cases, you can apply for permanent residence, either on the 186 or the 191 visa, depending on which of the work visas you were on. So 2 to 3 years in a regional area, basically. Waterproofing. I don't know about waterproofing. I was going to go. I've got to go. I'm starving and I've been sitting up all day and waterproofing is not there. I don't know about waterproofing. Sorry. Okay, people, I'm going to head off. Thanks very much for joining the live. We only got 6 roses today, which is very disappointing. But some people signed up and bought the app, so I'm happy with that. Thank you very much. If you've got any questions, you can DM me. You can book an appointment at meeting. There it is. This one here. Meeting. You can download the app, avm.dragonmigration.com. You can go to meeting.dragonmigration.com if you want to have a Zoom call with me, and you can drop me an email if that's what you need, or you just DM me.